I'd like to welcome you into this very, very detailed document, and I'll walk you through the video. What I'll essentially be doing is explaining everything which is in the document, and as you can see from the title, the overall objective is for you to understand why attention is the new currency. Now, let's get right into that. Now, these businesses want customers in order for them to run. Where is everyone these days? Their phones, social media apps to be specific, 98% of the time. These businesses pay social media platforms millions and even billions to get in front of these eyeballs, their potential customers. Now, Kim Kardashian and the art of attention, a family business. Kim Kardashian's rise to fame, along with her siblings, is a fascinating case study in leveraging the attention economy. Here's a breakdown. Early fame. Kim's initial brush with fame came through her association with socialite Paris Hilton, who she worked for as a stylist. A leaked tape in 2007, though controversial, gained significant media attention, i.e., companies will go to people who are good at getting attention and will pay them to promote their products. This means that people of influence can also start their own businesses and sell to their audiences since they look up to them. Main takeaway again. Whoever owns attention is worth unlimited amounts of money, be it influencers like Kim Kardashian and many others on social media or social media companies. But a disclaimer before we begin, this video is specifically for creators, content creators to be very specific. However, business owners and everyone should ultimately benefit from it. It is not for someone with a very short attention span. So if you're looking for fancy editing, dopamine and stuff like that, this is definitely not the video. If you take the teachings and information in this video and use them to your advantage, it will change your life for the better. Or you will remember this video in whatever time your mind will be open into exactly how the world of attention, content, and ultimately money works. And you will definitely wish you had taken action and done something about it, because you will realize that your life could be at least 3 to 5 years ahead if you had taken the necessary action. If you find yourself tired or sleepy, I suggest you best close this video and come back to it when you are feeling fresh and rejuvenated. Having your phone open while watching this video is surely the greatest waste of your time. I suggest you close it. Put your phone in flight mode to prove that you are not really addicted to it. I know most of you will not do this, which proves the whole point of this document and video as a whole, that social media platforms own you. Above all, enjoy and take action, of course. Now, before we get into it, let's look at some definition. The first definition is attention. Now, what exactly is attention? It's notice taken of someone or something, or the regarding of someone or something as interesting or important. And that is the definition from Google. In a nutshell, attention is the act of focusing your mental awareness on something. And that's the definition by AI Gemini. Currency. What is currency? A system of money in general use in a particular country. In the traditional sense, currency is a medium of exchange. It is a form of money that's generally accepted as a way to pay for goods and services. And it's the definition by AI again. I believe that's as simple as it gets. Now, moving on, the overview of this video. So before we jump into it, this video is aimed at showing you and teaching you the following: that attention has always been and is still currency, the most valuable currency, in fact. The best time to start creating content was the day you were born. The second best time is now. And that is said by the famous Alex Hormozi. Whether you know him or not doesn't matter at this point, but what you should always remember is the best time to start creating content was the day you were born. The second best time is now. Businesses need customers to stay in business, which they get via customers, and that is simple. Now, before we dwell into how you can use attention to your advantage in the modern day society and how people and organizations are making millions and even billions from it, it would be appropriate for us to look at the history of attention so you understand the viewpoints which are to follow in this document better. Now, let's look at the history of attention. Evolution of global connectedness, a timeline of attention grabbing. Here's a breakdown of how communication and connectiveness evolved, along with how it was used for advertising and grabbing people's attention. So we look at three main aspects. how communication was carried out using different communication platforms, and how it was used to grab attention of viewers or past buyers, and how businesses used it to utilize their advertising campaigns. Now, looking at the first one, before newspapers, 1450s. Communication. How was communication carried out? There were town criers, public announcements, flyers posted in central locations where people would just pass by and see the advertisement. Attention grabbing, loud voices from the town criers, eye-catching visuals on flyers, word of mouth from recommendations and neighbors. Remember, advertising was limited, most relied on local reputation and recommendations. Town criers could announce special sales or events. Remember, we are still speaking about the times when announcements like that were being made, announcements of kings approaching, or even of businesses having some sales. Towns were from small to medium size, unlike anything that we have today with very, very large and insanely huge towns. Moving on, we look at newspapers. From the 1450s moving onwards, how was communication carried out? Mass-produced, printed information with local, national, and international news. Attention-grabbing, headlines, illustrations, serialized stories to keep people coming back for more. Now, if you have spent enough time watching the news and newspapers, and not just watching them and reading them, but also paying very careful attention into the type of content that's there, you'll quickly realize that there's mostly negative news than positive in the news and both newspapers. And there's nothing that keeps us hooked more than negative news. Advertising, displaying ads, classic fields allowed businesses to reach a wider audience with a specific message. And as we had said, the New York Times is a famous newspaper or magazine, I would say. I don't know if when they are still on tablets and phones, if they are still referred to as newspapers. So yeah. And as you had said, these are mass produced, so they could reach everyone they possibly can with their advertisements and ads. Radio. Radio was from the 1890s onwards. Communication. How was communication carried out? Real-time audio broadcast of news, entertainment, and music. Attention grabbing, catchy jingles, radio personalities, dramatic news, and delivery. How was advertising carried out in this? Radio ads with sound effects and music became a new way to reach larger audiences at home. As we can see, we transitioned from newspapers to radios, which are now mobile and you can carry them around, unlike newspapers, and they provided unlimited information and content as well. Unlike newspapers, we provided very, very limited. Once we have done consuming that and reading all of it, it's done. I guess we have to wait for next Sunday or for about 5 days before the next one arrives to get the latest news and advertisements. And that costs business a lot of money, I would say. The time of radios, I would say when they first arrived, those were your parents were about this age. So that's someone's dad right there who's actually watching this video. Moving on, we're looking at television. Television was from the 1920s onwards. Communication. How was communication carried out in the form of television? Audiovisual broadcast offering news, entertainment, and commercials, attention grabbing, moving pictures, soundtracks, engaging presenters, short commercials with memorable slogans. How did businesses take advantage of this and advertise on this platform? The rise of TV commercial with a focus on visual emotions and storytelling to capture attention during breaks in programming. Those were the very first television sets we had, or at least our parents had. We have evolved into what we have today, which is just big, flat, lightweight screens, which just happen to show people and the news. Phones. Phones were from the 1870s onwards. Communication, point-to-point voice communication, initially wired, then later mobile phones. Now let's look at some examples. Remember, point-to-point with the first ones initially wired, and then we moved on to mobile phones, which were just those. You could now carry those around. You could be contacted wherever you are in the world. Attention grabbing, ringing sound, limited to direct communication with the intended recipient. There was no mass messaging. Advertising, initially not a major advertising platform, but later evolved into SMS marketing and mobile app notifications. Smartphones, 1990s onwards. Communication, convergence of phone, internet and multimedia capabilities, attention grabbing, notifications, constant connectivity, personalized content feeds, interactive features. Advertising, businesses took advantage of highly targeted ads based on user data, interactive mobile ads, rise of social media marketing. Now, with smartphones, we could now touch on the screens like that, and with a lot of apps, which replaced a lot of things like email, stuff like that, and they were now all digital. Social networks, mid 2000s onwards, communication platforms for connecting with friends. Now, before we move on, let's look at the distinguishing factor between social networks, which are often misunderstood or misinterpreted with social media networks. Now, the difference between the two you learn very quickly is social networks were used as platforms for connecting with friends, family, and communities online, while social media networks focus shifted from connections to building online communities and sharing content. That's the distinguishing factor, sharing content, which is media. Social networks are just for socializing with other people. Now, social media networks, you're also socializing and providing them with content of your own. Now, back to social network. They were from the mid 2000s onwards, attention grabbing, user generated content, social feeds with constant updates, notifications, and most of all, FOMO. You would realize that you are missing out, so you had to get up and catch up on the latest trends so that you do not miss out when your friends, colleagues at work are discussing stuff they discussed on the group yesterday. So that's how FOMO is created to this day. Advertising, highly targeted social media ads, influencer marketing, brand storytelling through social media posts. Right, these were built these are called social networks to bring us closer in some sense, but surprisingly, they have separated us from those who are closer to us and brought us somewhat closer to those who are better away from us, which is kind of strange. Social media networks. Remember, we said social media networks are focused on connections as well as the sharing of content, attention grabbing, short form video content, which we are used to today, TikTok, Instagram Reels, whatever platforms you are used to. Personalized feeds, interactive features like stories and live streams, advertising, micro influencers, ephemeral content ads, example, disappearing stories, emphasis on user engagement and building brand communities. Now you have your social media networks, which are Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and everything else in between. We capture content from our phones and we share it. And most of us, instead of living in the moment, we prefer to do that. I'm sure about 90% of you watching this video are definitely guilty of that. Now, if you are to look at this picture, it's only this guy. And I would say that guy only who's just living in the moment and enjoying the moment instead of just capturing it, wanting to share it with their friends, foes, who knows who else. But who cares what happened before you had your iPhone or the latest Samsung Galaxy, right? You do not care about the history of where phone started, where social media, everything in between started. So, very well. All you care about is your own phone, right? Now, let's look into how you are being sold every day of every hour from that exact phone you care so much about. A deep dive into social media networks. Is it free? Remember when you were young and you were told not to take free stuff from strangers, or don't go to a stranger's car who wants to give you a free ride? Ever thought of why? Simply because if it is free, you are the product. That's Chris Skinner, an author and commentator on financial markets. If it is free, then you are the product. You are the one who is going to be sold. So the stranger would have taken you and sold you to who knows what or who. But if you're watching this video, it means you listen to your parents, and good job for doing that. Moving on, you just bought your new phone, whether now or back in high school when you got your first phone. All your friends are cool as they are on WhatsApp, Instagram, or Facebook, and you're about to be one of the somewhat cool kids. What does it cost to open an account on any of your favorite social media platforms? Do you even remember the day you first opened your first account in any of the social media platforms? I would bet not. Now, it costs absolutely nothing to open an account on either of the social media platforms we have discussed above. Not $1, no waiting period, no age confirmation, no ID picture requested, no assessment of anything. What did you say about free stuff again? If it is free, then you are definitely their product. Your social media selling your journey. So here's how it goes. Developers or people build an app, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, etc. You download the app for free and register with your details in a few minutes, no verification of anything. You get to chat with your friends for free. From your contacts list, people who are also on the platform are recommended to you, so you follow them by default. You start scrolling and liking your favorite things. The algorithm starts learning about you the moment you swipe that finger up. You like your favorite artist's video, your favorite food, your favorite car, your favorite song, your favorite phone. You quickly pass your not so favorite car, house, food, dance, phone, color, etc. Now, everyone watching this video, I don't care who you are, the algorithms from all your social media accounts know the following and everything about you: your gender, your approximate age, your friends, your family, your favorite singer, your favorite team in any of the sporting activities, your favorite food, your favorite spice, and also insecurities, your weaknesses, your dislikes, your celebrity crush. The list goes on and on. Now, companies with a service or a product that solves some problem you have, which the algorithm already knows, by the way, whether you are lonely, heartbroken, unemployed, fat, skinny, have anxiety, have trouble talking to people. Now, these businesses want customers in order for them to run. Where is everyone these days? Their phones, social media apps to be specific, 98% of the time. Now, can you think of someone who you know who doesn't have a smartphone at this day and age? I would say you cannot. Now, these businesses pay social media platforms millions and even billions to get in front of these eyeballs. They are potential customers. For example, a dating app like Tinder will usually show up on someone who has liked multiple posts about relationships, finding the right person for you. Broken hearts can be fixed by the right hands posts. Relationships are tough kind of posts, etc. You feed this information to the algorithm every day without being aware of it. This is how large social media companies are billion-dollar companies. They don't get their money from you. No, you don't have any, do you? Of course not. They get it from other large businesses that want to sell their business or service. They make money by having you. Let's look at some detailed real life examples. There are a lot of companies we can look into, but let's look at one of the best, Coca-Cola, or rather to be specific, the Coca-Cola Company. The Coca-Cola Company is an American multinational corporation founded in 1892, produces the Coca-Cola soda. Coca-Cola market cap as of 2024 is $260.78 billion. Advertising. Let's look at the deep dive into their graph. Looking at the spending of Coca-Cola over the recent years, the company in recent years has spent approximately an annual of $4 billion globally to promote its drinks to the public, and spent approximately 4.24 billion on advertising in fiscal year 2019, most of which was spent to advertise the Coca-Cola soda. That's 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, which they spent the most amount of money in the recent past, which was $4.24 billion. Fan engagement spends 86 million globally across social media channels, online interaction, and social, cultural, or sporting events. That's a staggering 86 million people who interact with their posts, their ads, and everything else in between, whatever they post on social media platforms or sporting events. As of 2020, the Coca-Cola Company offers more than 500 brands in over 200 countries, which is impressive. You might be thinking, why do they spend so much money on advertising? It's either I like their drinks or I don't, right? They don't have to keep feeding us their ads. Now, let's look at the simple analogy of how a business works. In business, you try and do something. If it makes you more money, you do more of it. If it does not make you more money, you stop doing it. Simple as that. So, where are large companies like Coca-Cola spending all this money? Well, they have to spend it somewhere. Where are people in today's age? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And they are social media networks, as you might have guessed. Now, before we move on, I think it's best and it's most appropriate that we look at How exactly do these social media networks work? Right. How do social media algorithms work? This will be very short, but it is very, very important. How do social media algorithms work? There's a reason why the main TikTok user feed is called the For You page. Its content is specifically selected for you based on the way you have interacted with the app in the recent past. Twitter has also adopted this terminology, offering users either a For You or a following timeline. But of course, there's no human being sitting behind the desk shuffling content into the feed of each TikTok user, which would be an astonishing job. Instead, these recommendations are made by algorithms. The algorithms of social media companies are different, but they are all based on machine learning and a set of factors called ranking signals. These are exactly what they sound like. Signals used to rank the value of each individual piece of content for each individual user at a specific point in time. While the science behind it is extremely advanced, the overall function is simple. They scan the entire pool of content available, then score and rank it to determine what appears in a user's feed. For example, here's a visual representation of what's happening under the hood of Facebook algorithm, quickly skimming through it. So you have the whole inventory of content which is posted by everybody, from creators to companies, multitasking model, integrity processes, which check the content doesn't violate any community guidelines, rules, and policies, and stuff like that. And after it's filtered with that, we use those scoring cards that we spoke about, and eventually the algorithm feeds you with what it sees that you like, you have liked in the recent past, or you seem to appreciate more than the rest. Ranking signals are individualized because they are often based on your previous interaction with the platform. And like we said above, they are self-reinforcing with an exponential effect. The algorithm's behavior is entirely focused on keeping you on the platform by giving you content that you just keep watching, liking, or tapping on. So that's how the algorithms work based on user behavior in a nutshell. In the next sections, well, that's is of little relevance to us, so we'll end there for now. We just looked at how do social media algorithms work. Now, before you scroll, you will understand exactly what's happening behind the hood of your screen. You are not seeing whatever you like by mistake. Everything happens by extremely precise calculations by algorithms. In short, what business would not pay another business who says, I know exactly who wants your product or services? If you can think of such a business, they are probably out of business by now. And that is the power of social media algorithms, knowing people better than they know themselves. Social media platforms. Let's look at 85 plus important social media advertising statistics to know. We will quickly look at that. We'll just skim over it for time's sake. Right. This is an article by Stacy McLean, April 6, 2023. Now, where is me? Okay. General social advertising statistics. Social media advertising is a whole different beast from organic social media. Elsewhere on the blog, we've taken the time to compile a ton of social media stats. But if you're looking for specific ads on the social media advertising, you're in the right place. Good to know that. More than 4.74 billion people across the world use social media. And in 2022, the number of social media users increased by 4.2%. More than 4.74 billion people across the world use social media. If I'm not mistaken, at any given point in time, or at the world currently as of 2024, there's between 7 and 8 billion people alive at any given point. So it's safe to say more than half of the world are on social media, which is impressive or rather shocking. Ad spending on social media is more than $173 billion in 22. Not million, but $billion. In 2023, ad spending on social media is projected to reach more than $268 billion. Now, who is spending all this money? Businesses, of course. Social media advertising is expected to reach $80 billion in 2024. Now, all of these debts, we can keep reading through them, but I believe those are just the most important ones. Let's get back into the slide. Now, what do businesses that do not have such big brands and want more customers do? Well, they just use people who are extremely good at getting attention, because that's the main aspect of this video, attention. Right now, looking at influencers who are masters of attention, they are running businesses in their own self. Now, you cannot talk of influencers without talking of the also famous Kim Kardashian. Now, whether you are a fan of her or not, you have to admire her along with your sisters, but most importantly, their mother, Chris. This woman is an icon because, well, you will learn below as to why. So this is Kris Jenner, who is the mother of Kim Kardashian, Kendall Jenner, along with a lot of others. Now, Kim Kardashian and the art of attention, a family business. Kim Kardashian's rise to fame, along with her siblings, is a fascinating case study in leveraging the attention economy. Here's a breakdown. Mom measure, Kris Jenner's mastermind. She's referred to as mom manager because she's a mom to them and she's also their manager. So that's where mom manager comes from. Kris Jenner, the Kardashian family's matriarch, is widely considered a genius in celebrity branding and management. She understood the power of media exposure early on and strategically placed the family in the public eye, from reality TV to social media domination. Looking specifically at Kim Kardashian now, early fame. Kim's initial brush with fame came through her association with socialite Paris Hilton, who she worked for as a stylist. A leaked tape in 2007, though controversial, gained significant media attention. Keeping Up with the Kardashians. This reality show, launched in 2007, became a pop culture phenomenon, chronicles the lives of the Kardashian-Jenner family, showcasing their extravagant lifestyle, relationships, and personal struggles. The show ran for 20 seasons, ending in 2021 from 2007 all the way to 2021. Social media savvy, the Kardashians were early adopters of social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram. They used these platforms to connect directly with fans, share curated glimpses of their lives, and promote their brands. Kim's net worth and earnings. Kim Kardashian's estimated net worth is a staggering $1.7 billion, according to Investopedia. Now we can go ahead and look at that, but for time's sake, we will not. Earnings breakdown. Separating the exact figures from each direct source is difficult. However, here's a general breakdown. Paid promotions, which is what we are mostly interested in. A significant portion of Kim's income comes from promoting products and brands on her social media platforms. Estimates range from millions of dollars per post. Now, imagine that. Companies are willing to pay someone, a single individual on this planet, millions of dollars a single post for them to promote their product or service. $1 million a single post. Now, if you do not mind, I would like to hear how much each of you are making a post that you make on social media below. Skims. Shapewear brand Skims, which is valued at $4 billion, generates substantial revenue. Kim owns a 75% stake in the company. She also owns a lot of other fashion brands or clothing lines, makeup, whatever, like KKW Beauty and all other ventures. Social media following. Kim Kardashian boasts a massive social media following across platforms. Instagram, over 340 million followers. Twitter, over 73 million followers. Facebook, over 188 million followers. TikTok, with over 77 million followers as well. The key takeaway here is that the Kardashians, with Kris Jenner at the helm, have become masters of the attention economy. They have leveraged reality TV, social media, and strategic brand building to cultivate a loyal following and translate it into significant financial gain. I.e., companies will go to people who are good at getting attention and will pay them to promote their products, as they understand the simple analogy that as humans, we are still animals, and as the simple saying goes, monkey see, monkey do, and that's how animals behave. Additionally, Skims, this is likely Kim's most valuable business at the moment, is a shapewear brand she co-founded in 2019. In July 2023, Skims was estimated to be worth $4 billion after a funding round, according to Cosmopolitan. Now, 2021-2022, after just 3 years, the company is worth $4 billion, which is impressive. This means that people of influence can also start their own businesses and sell to their audiences since they look up to them. Now, that is Kim Kardashian right there. Moving on, main takeaway again. Whoever owns attention is worth unlimited amounts of money. be it influencers like Kim Kardashian and many others on social media or social media companies. Businesses will pay unbelievable amounts of money to both of these for them to stay in businesses and get customers. The sad part, which is very sad. There are currently over 200 million content creators around the world, creating and posting content every single day, keeping others who consume hooked and giving more and more information about themselves to the algorithms, while the creators themselves receive peanuts from these billion-dollar social media companies. The sad part is they are famous and broke. They keep entertaining their audience and never ever once think of providing some solution to their audience's problems or desires. They do not realize they are worth millions. All creators create online presence and post content because of one thing from the start: validation. We are animals after all. We constantly seek validation from others that whatever we are doing is right. We constantly want to reinforce that whatever I'm doing, is it right? Does everyone else like it? I talk about the psychology behind why you start your social media channel, your YouTube channel, or your Instagram account, and also how to now pivot so that it helps you as a creator. The video after that will shed some light into the process of how to now create your own wealth from your audience as a creator or someone who wishes to be a creator. Not to just start a YouTube channel or an Instagram account because you want some validation from whoever people you do not know, but with the initial intention of helping people with something that you know or you are knowledgeable in, and you believe people are willing to put money into you so that they receive the solution or whatever expertise that you know. I repeat, the video after that will shed some light into the process of how to now create your own wealth from your audience. However, this video and the one following this one in this series are of absolute importance in order to shift your perspective and mindset so you see the world in a different set of lenses. Conclusion. By now, I hope my objections have been achieved through this document and video explanation. The objectives were for you to realize, going over them again, that attention has always been and is still currency. The best time to start creating content was the day you were born. The second best time is now. I repeat, that is said by the famous Alex Hormozi. Businesses need customers to stay in business, which they get via attention, which is simple. Again, you may already have an audience that follows you as a creator for some reason, but the fact is they look up to you, to what you are saying or whatever you are doing. In the next video, I will break down in detail why the 200 million creators create a YouTube channel. We'll look at the psychology behind it, the history behind it, and why we celebrate 100,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers or followers. And with it, I aim to now change that instinct so that it benefits you. I ask that you do not jump these videos, but watch them in this sequential order for your own good. The value you'll receive in this is really mind-blowing. My goal with this series is to make you realize the amount of potential attention has on changing one's life in today's digital age. Follow this through, and I promise you it will be the best thing you have ever done with your life in this digital and attention world. And if you have made it this far, congratulations. You have just invested 45 minutes into something that is of value, which is valuable for you and not for anyone else. I repeat, have a look at the next video before moving on to the one following that. I will see you in the